officer at the municipality for the energy transition, and I'll be your moderator for today. I'm actually from Germany myself, so I also found my way to work here, and I'm actually very curious to hear the stories of our guests today. So we have Kristina, who's originally from Russia, and she's now an online marketeer, sales and communications professional. And then we have Hardik, who's from India. He even lived in San Francisco for a while and then decided to move to Groningen. And I think he's pretty much in love with the city. So welcome, welcome here. Then we have Eliza, who's from Romania, and she came to the Netherlands 5 years ago. She's lived at a couple of different cities here. And she's now leading the data and AI department of IBM in Groningen. And last but not least, we also have a real Dutchie on board, I'd like to say. It's Johan. And he is working for a company in Groningen which really supports companies in the Netherlands with finding internationals and also supporting and guiding those internationals. So everyone will have a chance to introduce him or herself afterwards, but I would actually like to start with a few polls to get to know you as an audience. So the first question is, hand on heart, are you actually wearing sweatpants, pajamas, or yoga pants right now? It's anonymous, so no worries, we will not pick you out to send a picture or anything, but I'm very curious, what you have to say. You can just click on the screen. And I see a lot of people responding, that's great. A lot of people actually saying never, and well, it's, I would say, a tie between people saying never and 100% yes. So I think that that's a very good description or picture of the current, let's say, of the times, the digital times we're in. Great. And then, well, let's say a more serious question, because of course that's also something we're very curious to learn about. Where are you joining us from today? Are you joining from a city in the Netherlands, from another European city, or even from outside of Europe? So most people are joining from a city somewhere in the Netherlands, but we also have 2 people from outside of Europe, and so far 8 people from other European cities. So yes, and of course also you're more than welcome to specify in the chat where you're from, because at least I know that I would find that very interesting to hear. And maybe some of our speakers are from the same country or even city. So oh wow, some people from Denmark, from Assen, of course, and from Berlin. Ah, that's also great. We have Slovakia, people from Frankfurt. Hi, Evita. It's also good to see you. She's a colleague of mine. And from Oldenburg, Germany. That's actually my hometown. We have Bulgaria, Utrecht. And from London, Turkey. Oh, that's also very interesting. From Rotterdam. So I think we have a very diverse group of people here. I think everyone's had a chance to respond. So yeah, very interesting. Thank you. Oh, also from Taiwan, and you're living in Groningen. Very interesting. And then just as a last question, what is your current role or status of employment? So are you a professional living in the Netherlands? Or are you a professional not yet living here, but I guess you're following this webinar or this session because you are interested? Are you a student here or are you a student abroad? So a lot of students in the Netherlands, but also a lot of professionals currently living in the Netherlands. We have 1 student from abroad and also a few professionals who are not yet living in the Netherlands. Very interesting. So I also think from our speakers, some actually started here right after their studies, or they came to the Netherlands for the first time when they were studying here. Same for me. Yeah. Amazing. So thank you very much for your participation in the polls. I will just close that. And I actually don't want to take too much time talking myself, because I mean, we're here to hear the interesting stories of Kristina, Eliza, Hardik, and Johan. And I would like to invite all of you to ask all the questions you may have in the chat, and then we will try to respond to as many of them as possible throughout the webinar. So I would say that we would just start with Kristina, because she prepared a small presentation, explaining her story, and I would just really like to give the word or the floor to you.
Thank you very much, Franzisca. And hello, everybody. Welcome. So I have around 5 minutes. Of course, I have much more tips, but today I'm a little bit short in time, so I chose the best tips that I could give to you. But before we go into the content of tips for job applications, I want to introduce myself a little bit more than Franzisca did, which she did really great. But my name is Kristina Altukhova. I originally come from Russia. I've been living in the Netherlands for more than 4 years. I have a bachelor's in political psychology and sociology from Russia. I have a master in economics from Russia. And when I was doing masters in economics, I came here to the Netherlands to do an exchange program. And during the exchange program, I applied for another master's MBA in the Netherlands. And I had to do 2 masters at the same time, one in Russia and one in the Netherlands. It was a tough cookie for me, but I did manage, and I did graduate from both of them successfully. And now I'm working as an online marketer and communications professional, sometimes professionals, a lot of people in one person. For online business coach, Alex von Henneken, and I am a yoga practitioner and cold bath practitioner. Not now, I have to start again because it's been warmer outside, but when it was very chilly outside, I didn't do it. So, 2 years ago, I was in job search, and it took me 4 months to find actually a job, even with the education that I had with 2 masters, and I had already Dutch at the level of B1/B2, so it was a high level of Dutch, but it still it took me time. So if you're already in the search of a job, keep going, and that's my first tip. Never give up, and you will find it. You will find your best job possible. And now I'm very happy at the job I am. So it's all possible. What did help me is to send open applications to companies which didn't have vacancies online. So that's actually how I found a job. I just wrote an open email introducing myself, sending a CV to several companies, besides applying for the jobs via Indeed or LinkedIn, or going to the events like that. And I also took a job search as a full-time job. It was really 40 hours job, sometimes on weekends. And I updated my LinkedIn profile, so I really made it up to date to the experience, to the education that I had at that time. So do it as well. It's my very big advice here. When you are at the interview, show your enthusiasm, even especially if you don't have a lot of experience to show your passions and show how you're willing to learn, how you're willing to study, to do everything that's needed to be the best professional possible. And then next slide, also with the tips, is I told the truth during the interview about my experience and about my education. I know that sometimes we get advice on make it a little bit more beautiful than it is in reality. I wouldn't advise it because the truth will come out anyway. And I talked about my passions and showing how much I'm willing to learn new things very fast. Very fast. That's the most important thing. And I was myself in the interview, and just being myself. It was useless to pretend to be someone else. And I was getting as many certificates as I can that are relevant to the position I was applying to. It showed my motivation and that what I was saying was supported by the evidence. And I was showing that I'm willing to learn new skills very fast. So that were my tips, and I will be happy to connect with you. You can find me by searching Kristina Altukhova. And if you like, you can let me know how did it go. Did my tips help you? And I wish you good luck with your job search. And now I will give my word back to Franzisca, and we'll close my presentation. Thank you very much. And if you have questions, please write them in the chat. I will be answering when other speakers will be talking.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And yeah, you just repeated the questions. Thing yourself. So I just wanted to say the same. Just let us know if you have any questions. We are very happy to answer them all. Yeah, I would actually like to give the word to Hardik.
All right. Thank you.
Very lovely cat in the background.
Yeah, he heard something outside. All right, cool. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. I'm just going to present a very short slideshow. I hope you can see it. So my name is Hardik, and I'm originally from India. And I was born and brought up in India. I did my bachelor's in computer science in India as well. I did my master's in computer science at the University of Southern California. And after that, I worked in the San Francisco Bay Area for about 6 years. And in March 2018, I moved from San Francisco to the Netherlands to join HackerOne, which is an amazing tech company located right here in Groningen. And pretty happy and excited to be here. I have no plans of moving away from here. I love living in the city, and it's pretty much exactly like my lifestyle, and it's pretty cool. So similarly, thanks to Christina, I kind of copied her slide format after seeing her presentation. So here are some tips from me that helped me. So I applied to HackerOne when I was living in the Bay Area, and it really helped to do a lot of research. And LinkedIn has a lot of like additional search filters that you can use to find the kinds of companies that you are interested in. Like, for instance, you could search for the number of employees. Maybe you want to work at a small startup. Like another tip that I found useful was checking Glassdoor for reading reviews from current and past employees. This lets you weed out companies that don't have a very positive reputation and things like that. Another thing I noticed was in the Netherlands, Indeed.com is very popular for posting certain kinds of jobs. A lot of tech jobs are on LinkedIn, but I figured like a few of my friends who work in non-tech jobs here found their current positions on Indeed. So I can definitely recommend that as well. And of course, like I said, do your research, ask questions about the role and the company. They really like it. As somebody who is currently hiring for HackerOne, whenever candidates ask me about HackerOne and I know they have read something about it, I really, really like it. And it's definitely a very big advantage for the candidate. Some tech-specific tips and others. If you are a software engineer or programmer, please practice your software engineering skills before coming to the interviews. It really helps. Writing a very short but strong statement of purpose is key here. Again, as somebody who is a hiring manager now, if somebody sends a statement of purpose that's like 1,000 words long, I'm not reading that. Please make it short. Apart from that, you will be turned down, and that's fine. Don't be disheartened. Keep an open mind and apply to a range of companies. That really helps. And after that, just be clear to the company, be honest what you're looking for, describe exactly what you need, and this will help any further disappointments down the road after you join the company. And apart from that, stay in touch with me. Like I said, I work at HackerOne, and we are currently hiring for many software engineers. And there's a link right here, or you can just search for HackerOne Engineering Careers uh, and apply there. And that's pretty much it from me. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions. Reach out to me, and I'll be happy. I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much. I think it was also very interesting to hear your perspective from both sides. So the one searching for a job, but also from your position currently hiring. So yes, again, I mean, I think you all know how to use the chat, and the questions are going very well. So I would like to give the word to Eliza now.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Franzisca. Like Franzisca already introduced me, my name is Eliza Sotcan. I'm coming originally from Romania. I'm currently in the Netherlands for 5 years. I came here, so my story is a bit different because I came here through a business assignment. So I've been working within IBM for almost 10 years now. So 5 years ago, I came here on a business assignment, and I initially thought I will stay in the Netherlands for 3 to 6 months max, and then I will go back to Romania, or I will go back to another assignment on a different country. But as time went by, I got to see more of the culture, more of the people, and got in love with. And apart from that, I was given a great opportunity to move inside the company. So for me, maybe the move was a bit more smoother because I went from one IBM in Romania to IBM here in Groningen. So then that was a bit different. But of course, I still had to go through an interview and then through a whole process of hiring, although within the same company. So basically, after 3 years of being on business assignment and flying back and forth, I thought, okay, it's now time to decide. Do I want to stay in the Netherlands, or do I want to go back to Romania or to a different country? And then I decided that I liked it so much here that I wanted to continue here. So then I started to think, where would I go next? Should I go inside the same company, or should I look outside? So of course, the most natural was to look inside of my own company. And I think I found here a great fit for me, because we have such a young organization, which is a bit different than the organization in Romania. We have so many nationalities in the IBM Center here in Groningen. I think we have more than 20, 30 nationalities. We speak a multitude of languages within the center. So basically, our first language within the center is English, which was very good for me because, to my shame, I didn't get to learn Dutch till today. So of course, this was one of the things that I took into account, and the fact that I was given the opportunity to lead the data and AI department, which was a great career opportunity for myself. Leading a department of almost 80 to 90 people was definitely a challenge and a great opportunity. In terms of tips, what I would suggest you to look into when you look for a job, I think already the tips given by Kristina and Hardik were great, but I would also challenge you to look at it a bit differently. What company will it fit you? So then whenever you apply for a company, try to research a bit. Will you be a fit to that company? Will you like it? Try to find something that you like, because from personal experience, that helps a lot. Work is the biggest part of your life, so you must enjoy it. You must have fun at the work. I think these are very important. And when you go to an interview, be open. Be open to learn new things. Be open to what comes your way. So maybe you have a certain job role in mind, but the company is offering something slightly different or something in a different area. Try to think about it. Do not be stuck on a specific role or on a specific thing that you have, like a perfect picture that you have in your mind. I learned from my work experience that whenever I took in a new project or a new client, there was always something to learn. There was always something different and something challenging. So yeah, this was a bit about my story. We are also actually hiring. We just had this week on Tuesday a new hire class joining us. I think beginning of March they will join us, and we will have more new joiners welcoming us this year. So if you are looking for a job in IT, please feel free to contact me or to search us online. I'm sure you will be able to find IBM and also our vacancies. And if there are any questions, happy to answer them here in the chat.
Thank you very much. And I think your advice of being open and also open to what comes along your way is a very important step that we also saw in the other short talks. I would actually just like to give the floor to Johan right now.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, welcome. Thank you for the time and also that you all are here in this chat. I heard already from the others here a lot of tips and tricks, which are true, completely true in the Netherlands. I'm the only original Dutch person here, so I will a little bit focus now my presentation in a different way because a lot of tips are good. So I think I will add a little bit more about how Dutch hiring managers or companies look at hires in general and expats in special. It's completely right what is said already. Please check a company already on forehand. If you are interested, please check the company, but also please check the persons who are in charge of a vacancy. Check their background, look at them on LinkedIn. What is their background? What do they do? Find out some common interests, also about hobbies. And also what is really important, just not look only on LinkedIn, not look only on Indeed. A lot of vacancies are, that's true, not open on the market. A lot of them are also with second-man companies like us or other companies in this field, staffing agencies. But there are also still a lot of companies still are only published on the websites of the company themselves. So what Elisa also said, if you are really interested in the company, please check their website, look at the vacancies, and if you see a real good vacancy, then check the vacancy also thoroughly. What I mean is, look at the hard skills. Do your hard skills match with the hard skills of this vacancy? That is really important because a lot of companies have ATS, application tracking systems. So they have systems which only check some words in your CV, in your resume. And if you write not the right words in it, you will not be checked for an interview, maybe. So please take care of that you write also your CV and your motivation letter towards the open vacancy which they have. If a company does not have an open vacancy, but the company is still interesting for you, please then also call them, ask for the hiring manager, explain what you are looking for, explain who you are, introduce yourself in a way, and then send them later on a letter, but please refer to that talk which you had already, to the phone call, and that makes it also easier. What is also really important, you send them CV and you wait, but it takes time to get an answer. So be also active and then also call the company and say, hey, hello, I sent a CV to you. Did you get it? Is everything fine with it? When can I get a response? Or be proactive in a general way. That is really important in the Netherlands. Some of us here said it already. You have to introduce yourself. You have to speak out what you would like to do, how you want to do it. But in the Netherlands, be proactive. That is really good. Don't wait. You can ask them. You can ask them for an explanation. You can ask them for an introduction. That is really good. And what is also important is to get a network. Find out people on LinkedIn. Make already a connection. If you are interested in the company, it's also really important to do, because a lot of people know each other then, and they can introduce you further in that company or in another company.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time, and I'm also happy to answer your questions.
Thank you very much. I think also in the chat we see that being proactive is very important. And I think that also really fits the Dutch culture in a way of being very direct and Yeah. I actually saw some questions about the language. So we already heard from Elisa that you are primarily speaking English at your job, but what is your general, maybe from all four of you, what's your impression? How important is it to actually speak Dutch if you want to work here?
Yeah, if I may start, I know a lot of companies are still Dutch, of course. A lot of IT is still English written, and it is also in English. Apart from that, they appreciate it if you can speak a little bit Dutch. If you can talk about the weather in general, because we love to talk about the weather always. It's just a subject to get to know each other and to talk to someone. Some like sports, so we had ice skating now this weekend, so you can talk about ice skating, for example. Yeah, they like that. But if they know you do not speak Dutch, it's okay for them. But if you are willing to speak to it later on, or you say, okay, I would like to talk to you to Dutch, it's okay. But the disadvantage for you is, especially from people from abroad, we know you do not speak Dutch, so we try to speak English to you. But you are so willing to learn Dutch and to try to speak Dutch that after 10 words they stop with you and speak English with you. Just so do not hesitate, and then also pinpoint on it. I want to learn Dutch, so please speak Dutch to us. So no, on forehand, it is, for some companies it is really important to speak Dutch, but then do not focus on that kind of companies. A lot of companies, it's not that important on forehand. No.
Yeah. I think that's a very good advice. I also learned Dutch by just having people speak only Dutch to me for an entire year, and I replied in English, and then suddenly I started dreaming in Dutch. So yeah.
Oh.
I have a very favorite employee working with me. What he does is I talk to him in English and he talks to me in Dutch back. And when I talk to him back in English, he says, I don't understand you. I was like, great. So that's a good way. You can just say to your colleagues that, or to your Dutch friends that you want to learn Dutch. So please speak Dutch to me, even though if I don't want to speak Dutch or I don't feel like that or whatever reasons you will find, just ask everyone around to help you out here.
Perfect. We also just got a reply or a message from Anke de Vries, and she says that she's a Dutch teacher and she's very willing to help you. We also, we're almost at the end of the session, but I also saw a few questions on visa and working permits. And maybe Hardik or Kristina, maybe one of you can just give a very brief answer to that.
Sure, very quickly, it's you can apply for a highly skilled migrant visa for certain situations. That's the kind of visa that I'm on. I'm not 100% sure, but usually when companies do accept like their candidates to be expats, they will handle the entire visa process for you. And it's usually pretty straightforward and you don't have to worry too much about it. Yeah.
But also to add to that, some companies do that, but some companies hire you if you're, for example, on an orientation year visa. That's how I got hired. I was on orientation year visa. But I had to be proactive in reminding my employer, because they're very busy with other things, to, if they want to have you on a job to continue, so you continue working, you need to keep reminding them that they have to start working on that, or you help them as well, because it's a lot of paperwork, and don't put it all the time on the employer. Do it also yourself by searching out information and being proactive.
For me, was like Hardik just mentioned, within IBM, usually the company handles the visa part. So the employee only needs to give the details, but the company handles this part and will help you with anything that is needed.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I'm afraid that we're already at the end of the session time-wise, but I mean, you all offered that people can contact you. I think that's also possible within this event system, but also via LinkedIn. you're also very happy to contact me if you have any questions. So I hope that we were able to answer a lot of your questions. There were some questions on traineeships that I saw, maybe just from a personal point of view. I did a traineeship here, and there are a couple of organizations that actually arrange traineeships for students. And also the University of Groningen, I know that they have special PhD days. So maybe that's also interesting for those who are wondering about PhD positions. Yes, I'm very thankful for the four of you to share your stories and your advice. And yes, you're all very much welcome to contact us and ask more questions.
Yeah, me too.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.